Bienvenue au French Tech Podcast. Welcome to the French Tech Podcast. I have two amazing new guests here, Clara and Ling, who work at Circles.Life and Microsoft. Could I please ask you to introduce yourselves?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Clara, and I work for Circles.Life. What I'm doing there is learning and development as well as people analytics. And basically look after all the different types of reporting and looking at data models with regard to people. Anything to do with employees, employee engagement, and all of that, that's what I'm looking after.
So quickly about Circles.Life. I use Circles.Life. As I understand, it's the first telephone operator that brought down prices for mobile data. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So I think with the entry of Circles.Life about 3 years ago, you used to pay like maybe heaps of money for data, and now it's 20 gigs for $20 or something silly like that.
I love your company.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love hearing about that. Yeah.
So how about yourself?
So I work for Microsoft as an AI specialist, and I cover whole Asia. So my daily job is actually, brainstorming with customers, talking about how our AI services, our AI platform can really facilitate the journey to be more AI driven. Because data is gold, right? So now, like all the companies are trying to see how can they transform their business using more intelligent services, and I'm doing that kind of job.
That's very interesting. So you help the client identify how AI can help them and how data can be leveraged to their business need.
Yes, and then you can imagine that some of the AI services we have itself might not be exciting, but when we have a real use cases and we connect to real business relating to it actually make a big impact. And that's what also excites me as well. And it's a lot of learning on both sides.
That's very interesting, because that's a conversation that we're having a lot here at the conference about putting the why at the center of data analytics. Now, I understand that the both of you haven't always been in tech.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe you could tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so my background, actually, I studied economics in school, but actually my background at work is really around HR. So human resources, I started out in human resource consulting. I went on to do learning and development. A huge bulk of my career has been around the people side of things. Basically, I really got interested in data a few years ago, and I really got started. One of my friends, Yana, who co-founded She Loves Data, started organizing these workshops, and I attended one of those, and then realized that actually that's where my passion lies, and that's where I want to go to. And basically, 2 years later, and I'm still doing I did a master's. I'm doing a master's right now in analytics part-time while I'm working full-time. So,
fantastic.
Yeah. Managed to get a job with Circles looking after people analytics as well.
That's fantastic. How about you?
So interestingly, my academic background is Chinese literature, and there are so many people with
That's very low tech.
But okay, so you can imagine in the first few years of my career that I've been receiving so many criticisms. I am not joking. That was criticism because they were like, "Hey, you studied this. You should be a teacher." But that actually made me feel so like, why? Because I shouldn't be defined by what I chose to study. I'm still like very much very romantic person when it comes to literature. I still enjoy that, but it doesn't mean that I want to spend my whole life, my whole time with it. And I do also have maybe same amount of the passion for tech. So that's how it I didn't give up that, but I really want to do something I also very passionate about. And come back to my career. So my first job is actually a PR. So in the public relations, sometimes we know the company might face some crisis. There might be some product defects and all these. And in the first job, I encountered some difficulties when I really want to make a decision on how should I respond to media. And I realized that the company actually failed to give me a fairly good analysis on what's the damage level. And that made me thinking, how can I really make this better? And I want to learn more about how an enterprise system should be assisting people like me or even like leadership. How can they make decisions?
Yep.
And that took me through this data and enterprise system career path since then.
So you were driven to tech through this
Through
interest
this,
that
yeah,
you developed
yeah.
on the
Because I was
ground.
like, yeah, and then I really keen to know how, because I was suffering, and I really want to know where are the solutions.
Yeah.
So that's how from that PR job I jumped into IBM, Microsoft for these you see enterprise platform or services companies that really help enterprise to transform their journey.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Do you share this impression about, how being pigeonholed sometimes is either tech or non-tech?
Yeah, there sometimes is that bit of a pigeonhole. It's worse because I'm slightly older, so a lot of times people think the experience that you've had before doesn't, it is not really helpful when it comes to tech, but actually that's not true. So I think definitely we shouldn't pigeonhole people, but I suppose it's just a lot easier day to day for most
Right,
people to just
sure.
think about that way, right?
Yeah. It's very interesting. Well, to share my own personal experience, because I really relate to your stories. So I used to be a psychologist, and now
That's
I'm
awesome.
AI engineer, and I
That
do
is fantastic.
podcasting
Yeah.
as well. So a very diverse set of interests. And depending on what you present, sometimes people would say, oh, you're tech or you're non-tech, and they have a
Yeah.
hard time joining the different aspects together.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would use this pitch, right? So I said, yes, I have a Bachelor of Art, but when it comes to artificial intelligence, what we are mimicking is what people's behavior. We use technology to mimic people's behavior. So it actually especially need a humanity piece into this new technology. So the more we understand what people would behave, actually enhance what technology can do for us. So I would say this is the best era to have humanity, and a lot of art-related people's skills or knowledge now is bringing into the tech world, and we appreciate that traits or skills, more than ever right now.
Yeah.
Well, and especially for data analytics and data insights, as the market matures and it shifts from the how, the technical sides, to the why, to the business cases, I think these kinds of mixed backgrounds and mixed perspectives are very valuable to clients.
Very important.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, even when we're talking about machine learning, right? A lot of it, the feature engineering, you need domain expertise. You need domain experience that helps to build better models sometimes, right? And I think that's what's missing for a lot of things. I think we have to realize that nothing's black and white. All of us have got varied interests. We're very diverse people, even within ourselves, right? You've got so many different interests.
Yeah,
You've got different interests. I've got different things going on, and I think that brings a lot to the table when we're even looking at brainstorming, building models, analyzing the data. I think there's so much richness in that you just don't get if you just pigeonhole and if you just think about things in this is a box, this is a circle, this is all of that.
That's how important diversity that we're talking about, as always, because different background actually brings different perspective, and now we just need that mix of concepts to bring it together.
Yeah.
That's what allows us to find synergies, right?
Exactly,
and to advance faster.
Yeah, exactly.
So it might be a difficult question to answer, but do you feel that your move to tech or your interest in tech has enriched your life compared to before?
It is for me. It's like you get excited when you see something new, and then you can't wait to share with people, and then especially when we meet people, especially like in this environment, and we find that this is so our language, right? We just hit, and then we find that we share the same experiences, we have this same learning, and then yes, we are in tech, but we are in common that we find out the tech really valuable when it comes to solving our real daily life problems. Those kind of connections we just had like this, and then that's how I really feel that tech is actually already really embedded into my life, and it's definitely enriching me.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, same here, right? So, like I said, I'm doing a master's, and just on a personal level, I think I've met loads of other people who also feel the same way, and that really helps to build, I suppose, connections and ideas, and we build on each other's strengths and all of that. So, on a personal level, definitely coming here, meeting all of you as well. I think that's one of the really good parts about being switching into tech.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So let's bring it back here to the conference, to the Big Data World Conference here in Singapore.
Yep.
How's it going so far? What have you been getting out of it?
Yeah, so I think it's fantastic. I've been, I haven't really had a chance to walk around, but I'm going to do that in a bit. I think there's loads of people out here that, loads of technology. We're seeing all the interesting, not just vendors, but the interesting services that are coming up, and I think that's something that's really important for anyone who's really interested in data to just have a look and just understand what's out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, same here. So I actually look around a little bit, and you can see all these vendors coming from different side of the data management like process. They coming from different angle, but they all want to serve certain like scenarios that the enterprises are facing. So I think it's a fantastic cluster of having the like-minded people gather together, and also to see that in a like a one shop. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me. I'm very
Pleasure.
happy you're here. I'm very happy to learn more about your backgrounds and how we can advance together through our diverse backgrounds.
That's fantastic. It's nice meeting you as well. Thanks for
Yeah,
having
nice
us on the
meeting you.
show.
Thank you.